Singapore is situated in Southeast Asia, just off the southern tip of Malaysia. One of the smallest and most densely populated countries in the world, Singapore is a breeze to explore. Nothing is more than an hour away from the central business district. Built at the crossroads of maritime trading routes, for well over a century, Singapore was the jewel in Britain's empire. When the city became a republic in 1965, few thought a country with so few resources and of vastly different ethnic groups could succeed. But succeed it has, on an unimaginable scale. Singapore today is one of the 4 Asian economic tigers, a futuristic bridge between East and West. Yet despite blossoming into one of the great global cities, Singapore is a nation that still cherishes its Asian traditions. Once filled with trading houses and opium dens, Chinatown's historic shophouses have been transformed into restaurants, boutique hotels, and gift shops. Pick up a good luck charm in the Pagoda Street Market, or find a few moments of quiet reflection at the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple. Across town, Little India crams all the colors, scents, and gods of the Indian subcontinent into just a few city blocks. While in the nearby Malay and Muslim quarter of Kampong Glam, the streets are a treasure trove of handicrafts from the Arabian world. One thing unites all Singaporeans: food. It's the national obsession. For an authentic Singaporean makan experience, follow the satay smoke to the nearest hawker centre. For more upscale dining, head to the bright lights of Boat and Clarke Quays. Despite Singapore's high urban density, the island is incredibly fertile. They say if you stick a broom handle into the soil, it will flower overnight. Escape the heat and enter a world of colour at the Singapore Botanic Gardens and the National Orchid Garden. For a slightly wilder experience, explore the jungle paths of the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. Singapore's animal residents are a pretty diverse bunch too. Famed for its forest setting, the Singapore Zoo is home to over 300 species, including the world's largest captive colony of orangutans. While the Jurong Bird Park has been bringing human beings and bird life closer together for over 40 years. Singapore enjoys a hot tropical climate. When the cooling afternoon rains come, indulge in that other Singaporean obsession, shopping. Orchard Road offers miles of retail indulgence. For a change of pace, head to the Bugis markets to really rub shoulders with bargain hunting locals. When it's time to unwind, climb aboard a cable car to Sentosa, an island playground filled with resorts, theme parks, beaches and bars. At Sentosa's western tip is Fort Siloso, a vivid reminder of Singapore's darkest days during World War II. Closer to town is Singapore's big backyard, East Coast Park. This 10-mile recreational park is lined with bike paths and beaches, and is proof that busy Singaporeans do know how to kick back and relax. A little further east is Changi Beach. From here, catch a bumboat to the island of Pulau Ubin for a taste of kampong life that has all but vanished on the mainland. Pulau Ubin's quiet beaches, mangroves and wetlands are a world away from the buzz of modern Singapore. In the 21st century, Singapore is attracting the world's most adventurous architectural minds. Marina Bay shines like something from a science fiction blockbuster, while Gardens by the Bay shows the endless possibilities of mankind's flowering imagination. Welcome to Singapore, where the future is only ever a few steps away from the past. A destination that proves that with unity, diversity and daring, even the smallest of places can grow into a giant.
China is the home of pandas, but it's more than just pandas. Did you know there are over 50 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in China? Whether it's incredible natural or historic places, China is full of surprises. Let's start at the Great Wall. With a history of over 2,000 years, the Great Wall isn't just a wonder of ancient architecture. It represents the epic of Chinese history. Heading south from the Great Wall, China's two great rivers await. They are the Yellow River, which is called the cradle of Chinese civilization, and the Yangtze River, which offers finest works of nature. Strung along the rivers are major cities and ancient towns that form the heartland of China. With the coming of spring, the water towns of eastern China beckon. The gardens and architecture you'll see here are the essence of Chinese classical elegance. Come winter, head to the fairyland of the north. Be amazed by deep pine forests cloaked in snow. See the world's largest ice sculptures and play all kinds of winter sports. If the north is too cold for you, just have a taste of the diversified local food while vacationing in tropical islands or exploring the magnificent landscapes of Guilin. Further west, come experience the colorful Tibetan culture and go on a journey of spiritual self-discovery in the real Shangri-La. And don't forget the Grand Canal, the world's longest man-made canal. It was once the primary north-south trade route in China. Stories from its banks unfold like a scroll of Chinese history and culture. Themed tours will always offer a great way to have unique cultural experiences, whatever your interests might be. The Great Tea Road takes you through 8 provinces of China before reaching Mongolia and passing on to Russia. Self-driving tour along the Tea Road is a once-in-a-lifetime, unforgettable experience. Riding on the Qinghai Tibet Railway is one of the most breathtaking experiences. It takes you to the highest plateau in the world, where the heavens seem to meet the earth. Ready for adventure? The tours along the ancient Silk Road present the best Eurasian history. And the Maritime Silk Road gives you a taste of the modernity of coastal cities. This is China. It's a country of amazing historical and natural wonders like nowhere else in the world, and where the impossible seems to happen every day. China is beyond your imagination. Welcome to beautiful China.
Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is situated in the Kanto region on the main island of Honshu. Tokyo's greater metropolitan area has a population of over 35 million, making it one of the largest and most exciting megacities on the planet. Rocked by earthquakes and scorched by war, this centuries-old city has refused to kneel. Just like the sun, Tokyo has continued to rise, blending the old with the new, and the new with tomorrow. Tokyo is a spectacular matrix of villages, towns, and cities, strung together by a subway and train system that never rests. Just like the Japanese pop culture monster Godzilla, Tokyo's size and energy can intimidate first-time visitors. Yet despite the neon, noise, and sheer volume of people, Tokyo's soul beats with a heart of Zen. Tradition, ritual, and respect are the hallmarks of Japanese society. This is a place that cherishes its children, reveres its elderly, and treats visitors like honored guests. Tokyo is a city of multiple personalities. Whenever you pop up from the subway, it can feel as if you've arrived in an entirely different city. Yet Tokyo is an incredibly well-ordered society. Everything has its place and purpose, and this is especially true of its neighborhoods. Begin your Tokyo journey gently in the ancient temple town of Asekusa. At the city's oldest temple, Sensoji, pay your respects to Kannon, the Buddhist goddess of mercy. The temple was built to house a golden statue of the goddess, pulled from the nearby river by two fishermen in the 7th century. Make an offering at the neighboring shrine built to honor the brothers who found the statue, and you too might receive some heavenly good fortune. When you're ready to brave the streets of Tokyo, head to Asekusa's Thunder Gate and explore Nakamise-dori, a market street where worshippers have been buying religious charms and snacks for centuries. After the crowds, recenter yourself in Ueno Park before delving into the cultural treasures of the Tokyo National Museum. While conformity and tradition are two of the glues that bind Japanese society, Tokyo's youth love to express themselves too. And nowhere is more evident than the suburb of Harajuku. Renowned throughout the world as a center of youth culture and fashion, Harajuku is also home to one of Tokyo's largest green spaces, Yoyogi Park. On Sundays, locals gather to relax, rehearse, and just hang out, making it the happiest 134 acres in Tokyo. Just to the north of Yoyogi Park, pass beneath a towering Torii Gate and into a forest of 100,000 trees, originally sent here as saplings from all over Japan. And finally, pass through the main gates to Meiji Shrine. Here, millions come each year to pay their respects to Emperor Meiji, the beloved 19th century ruler who helped Japan throw off its feudal cloak and grow into the dynamic country it is today. Just south of Yoyogi Park is Shibuya, home to one of the busiest pedestrian crossings in the world. Every area of Tokyo dances to its own distinctive beat. In Shibuya, the beat is shopping. In nearby Ginza, huge department stores like the historic Wako store await. On Saturday and Sunday afternoons, the main street is closed to traffic, giving Ginza a relaxed and slightly surreal atmosphere. Ginza has a grittier side too. Be sure to check out the tiny yakitori joints and beer halls tucked away beneath the railway arches around Yurakucho Station. For a change of pace, explore the downtown business district of Marunouchi, whose wide tree-lined avenues and boutique stores lend Tokyo a certain New York touch. If you're into anime, manga, or gaming, you'll feel right at home in Akihabara Electric Town. As its name suggests, this area really lights up after dark. As the sky glows in a blaze of neon, head to the restaurants and pubs in Shinjuku, one of the city's main dining and entertainment areas. Stay up late and let the magical lights of Tokyo's nights melt into your memory forever. after exploring Tokyo's neon forests, greet the new day at the Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. Tokyo's youth may take center stage at Yoyogi Park, but at the quiet gardens, it is Mother Nature's beauty that is honored. The Japanese have a saying, dumplings are better than flowers. So, no matter how much nature is revered, food comes first. Tokyo is one of the culinary capitals of the world. The city's restaurants have been awarded more Michelin stars than any other city. And when food's this good, Tokyo residents don't mind waiting. For the freshest sushi and sashimi, head to the Tsukiji fish markets. Then after your meal, pick up some sushi knives to take home. When it's time to rise above Tokyo's never-ending canyons of glass and steel, ride the elevator to the observatories of Tokyo Tower. For even higher views, head to Roppongi Hills. From the 52nd floor of the Mori Tower, Tokyo spreads out beneath you all the way to Mount Fuji, Tokyo Bay, and beyond. Set on the western banks of Tokyo Bay, the city of Yokohama is only a half-hour train ride from central Tokyo. This historic port became the first gateway to Japan when the country opened itself to the west in 1854. Compared to hyperactive Tokyo, life moves a little slower here, making it the perfect place to catch your breath. Today, Narita is the gateway to Japan. When most people think of Narita, they think of the international airport. However, this small city of winding streets, ancient temples and gardens is a fascinating window into old Japan. Follow the Omotesando to the Narita-san Temple, dedicated to the Buddhist god of fire. And before you depart, be sure to leave a wish on the prayer wall. Because whether you're young at heart or prefer things the old-fashioned way, everything has its place in Tokyo, and there's a place here waiting for you.
Perched on the east coast of Australia, few cities are as geographically spectacular as Sydney, the capital of the state of New South Wales and home to over 4.5 million people. Surrounded by the rolling Pacific Ocean, two dramatic headlands stand as a timeless gateway to one of the world's most beautiful harbours. Blessed with over 100 beaches, bathed in year-round sunshine and buzzing with a youthful vitality, when it comes to the good life, Sydney is hard to top. Sydney's heart is the harbour. What began as a penal colony in 1788 would within a century be transformed into paradise. From its rough and tumble beginnings in an area known as the Rocks, Sydney soon threw off its convict shackles and blossomed into a gracious city, filled with Victorian architecture and public gardens. New arrivals came by the boatload in search of a new life. The city expanded into gorgeous inner city suburbs like Paddington, harbour neighbourhoods like Rose Bay, and into beachside communities up and down the coast. For first-timers, Sydney can feel like a maze of beaches, headlands, bays and coves. The quickest way to find your bearings is to take a trip to the top of Sydney Tower. From over 800 feet up, the observation deck offers 360-degree views of the entire city. Once you've come to grips with the layout of the city, head to Circular Quay, Sydney's version of Grand Central Station. From Circular Quay, you can get just about anywhere by ferry, water taxi or train. Just to the right, like white sails billowing in the breeze, is the Sydney Opera House. You don't need a ticket or tuxedo to explore this incredible performance venue. Whichever way you look, inside or outside, up or down, the Opera House is nothing less than an architectural miracle. Just behind the Opera House, on the site of Sydney's first farm, are the Royal Botanic Gardens and the Sydney Domain. Here you'll find Government House, the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and some of the leafiest views in Sydney. To the left of Circular Quay stands the famous coat hanger, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. One of Sydney's famous sons, Paul Hogan, the star of Crocodile Dundee, was a painter on the bridge before he hit the big time. But you don't need to work on the bridge to enjoy the views from the top. Simply strap on a safety harness and join a bridge climb tour. Just across the bridge at Luna Park, you'll find Sydney's most famous smile. The rides are a little on the vintage side, but the locals wouldn't have it any other way. This heritage-listed fun park has been thrilling Aussie families since 1935. Just a short ferry ride from Luna Park is Darling Harbour, one of Sydney's urban renewal triumphs. Once the site of rusting railway yards, Darling Harbour is now home to the National Maritime Museum and popular parks, bars and restaurants. Only a few blocks away, you'll find the Powerhouse Museum, a celebration of steam, space and science. A short walk across the Piermont Bridge is the Sydney Sea Life Aquarium, where you'll experience many of Australia's maritime environments, from the Great Barrier Reef to the rugged South Coast. Australia has a reputation as a land of creatures that bite, sting and can even rip off your whole arm. At the Wildlife Sydney Nature Park, say g'day to some of the world's deadliest creatures, as well as some of Australia's most cuddly. But for the zoo with the view, hop back on the ferry and cruise over to Taronga Zoo. Ride the cable car to the top of the hill and follow the paths back down, past some of the happiest and most relaxed looking creatures you'll ever see. And who wouldn't be with views like this? When it's time to cool off, grab your towel and head to Bondi Beach. You haven't experienced Sydney until you've felt Bondi's golden sand between your toes. The beach is patrolled year-round by bronzed Aussie lifesavers, but always remember to swim between the flags. Another famous seaside suburb not to be missed is Manly. The 30-minute ferry ride from Circular Quay to Manly Wharf is all part of the adventure. Go for a dip in the gentle harbourside waters of Manly Cove, or head through the historic Corso to Manly Beach. If you've never tried surfing, pack your board shorts. This is the place to learn. Feeling energetic? Hike the coastal paths and bush tracks to North Head for some incredible views back to the city. So, you've climbed the bridge, tackled some Bondi waves and wrangled the wildlife. No doubt you're feeling a little thirsty. Time to partake in one of the great Sydney traditions. Join the locals by the water, raise your ice-cold beer and make a toast to paradise.
Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, lies on the northwest coast of Java, the most populous island in the world. This sprawling metropolis is the Republic's political and economic engine room, and home to over 10 million people. The sheer size and frenetic pace of Jakarta can sometimes make it feel like a city unraveling at the seams. But it's those 10 million residents who hold it all together. Long after the traffic jams are forgotten, it's the warmth, pride and smiles of the people which are remembered. Despite its rather gritty reputation, this is a city that often charms its way into the hearts of travellers. To get to the heart of Jakarta, and indeed the entire nation, head to Merdeka Square. Once a humble buffalo field, this 1 kilometre square park tells the story of a nation, from its earliest kingdoms to its throwing off the yoke of Dutch colonial rule. From the square's centre rises the towering national monument, Monas, whose flame of independence shines its reassuring and unifying light across the entire archipelago. All around the square are some of the capital's most elegant and important buildings, such as the National Gallery. On the square's western side is the National Museum of Indonesia, whose majestic courtyard and stately rooms display national treasures from across the ages. To the northeast rises the gleaming minaret of Istiqlal Mosque, the nation's main house of worship, and the largest mosque in Southeast Asia. During Ramadan, over 100,000 worshippers gather at a time in this modernist masterpiece, lovingly constructed from Javanese marble and stainless steel. Religious tolerance is one of the central guiding principles of the Indonesian Republic. As a symbolic gesture of harmony, the mosque was built directly opposite the magnificent twin spires of Jakarta Cathedral. But it's not just around Merdeka Square that you'll discover the spirit and riches of this city. In the heart of Jakarta's Old Town lies Fathahillah Square, home to Jakarta's best heritage architecture and some of its finest museums. Housed in the old City Hall, the Jakarta Historical Museum provides a fascinating glimpse into the city's colonial past. For over 300 years, the city was called Batavia, the capital of the Dutch East Indies. Known as the Jewel of Asia, this was the epicenter of the Dutch trading empire. Also facing the square, the Wayang Museum celebrates the incredible puppets of Java and beyond, while the Museum of Fine Arts and Ceramics showcases the paintings of Indonesian masters, as well as ceramics from all over Asia. After you've explored the museums around Fathahillah Square, pull up a chair at Café Batavia. Once the offices of the Dutch East India Company, for the last 3 decades, this 200-year-old building has been serving up the coolest old-world charm in Jakarta. Times haven't changed much in Sunda Kelapa either, which is just a short walk north of the old town. Take a boat ride around this ancient port and see traditional Makassar schooners unloading and resupplying for inter-island voyages, just as they have for over 8 centuries. When it's time to take a break from the non-stop bustle of Jakarta, embark on a nautical adventure of your own from nearby Ancol and explore the Pulau Seribu National Park. Just a 30-minute ride from Jakarta lies Pulau Bidadari, a tiny resort island famed for its tranquility. On nearby Pulau Onrust, once a site for Dutch shipyards, the fortifications still stand, despite the British bombardments and tidal waves which rocked the island in the 1800s. Indonesia is made up of over 17,000 islands and 34 provinces. To sample them all in a single day, head to Taman Mini, a theme park that brings the entire archipelago to Jakarta. From the temples of Bali to the bull races of Madura, the ethnic, cultural and architectural diversity of the island republic is waiting to be discovered. Jakarta is a gateway to Indonesia, through which many rush. But it's a gateway that offers much to those who linger. From modern malls to roadside stalls, from markets where you can snack for a few rupiah, to restaurants where you can dine like a sultan. From manic streets to places of absolute calm. This is a city that rewards the adventurous and those who appreciate the value of a smile. Visiting Jakarta can be challenging at times, but this is a city where light dances from the most unexpected places and moments. As the Javanese say, urip iku urup. To be alive is to be a flame. So come and share the light and smiles of Jakarta.